Well, we have a classic 2000s Lego set in the Star Wars subline. I can't wait to review this thing. Alright, now, as I said in the intro, we have a classic 2000 set. This is the 2008 Lego Rogue Shadow. The Rogue Shadow, for those who did not know anything about the prior expanded universe, the Rogue Shadow belonged to the former apprentice of Darth Vader, Starkiller, who was assigned to hunt down and destroy any remaining Jedi in sight. And the Rogue Shadow was a pretty cool ship. The whole thing, that whole game was good. I loved The Force Unleashed. I played it like a couple of years ago on my main channel, both the first one and its sequel. And the story of The Force Unleashed is such a classic. Seeing the tale of Darth Vader having a secret apprentice and training him to eventually overthrow Palpatine, where eventually that would backfire and Starkiller would help create the rebellion and he would sacrifice himself in the process, but then also get cloned at the same time, and the clone also helping to free the rebellion. Now, talking about the Rogue One itself, the Rogue One is not bad. It's definitely not completely accurate to the game, unfortunately. If you have a side-by-side comparison of the Rogue Shadow from the game to the Lego set, it wasn't completely translated that well. But it does have a few cool gimmicks. Like, for one, the wings can go up when it's standing, which is pretty cool. It also comes with some legs, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I know one of them's missing. And it also, I forgot, this also comes with a launch turret, if I can get it out of here. Looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, this set is not completely structured that well. Granted, I could have misbuilt something when I was making this. The seller was so kind enough to unbuild the set and send it to me where I have to put it together, which was very much appreciated. And same thing with another Lego Star Wars set. The inside is basic for a Lego set. Oh yeah, the top part is also removable. And nothing too exciting, not as exciting as the ship in the video game. It also comes with some minifigures, which I'll grab real quick. First, we got the original Jonah Eclipse. It's okay. I like the torso, but when it comes to the face, it's not that great, unfortunately. Granted, back then, Lego didn't really have the techniques that they have now. But even then, I think Lego's probably downgraded a bit over the years, especially since a certain pandemic that I can't even mention on YouTube. Anyway, let's move on to the next minifigure. Then, of course, we got the Starkiller minifigure, which, of course, it's not completely the same minifigure brick by brick. Like, the minifigure itself is, but I threw in one of the newer lightsabers and then also gave him an extra electrical piece because he could use Force Lightning in the two games that he was in. I'll say, for what this figure is, it's alright. And a common thing that I hear in the Lego fandom when they talk about the set is how inaccurate it looks to the character and Sam Witwer. There is one head that I feel like can make it look like Sam Witwer, and same with the hair. But I will maybe do that in another video. let's move on. Here is Vader, the battle damaged one from the Force Unleashed. Now, I know this isn't entirely accurate because there is a piece missing here. I just can't find it at the moment. But honestly, I never really liked that piece anyway for this minifigure. The minifigure itself is fine. I get what it's trying to replicate. His final duel with Starkiller at the end of the game. But the extra piece made it look goofy. And I know that LEGO is very limited on how accurate it can be, unlike, let's say, a Black Series figure where they have more details that they can put in because they're bigger and taller, where their LEGO minifigures are smaller. You can't put as much detail as those Black Series figures or even an old Star Wars figure at the time. I get that. And it's a fine enough figure. LEGO back then wasn't very detailed as they are now. Granted, there are some things that they still don't go into detail with or flop back and forth on, like arm printing, but I don't really care about that too much. I feel like as long as you capture the minifigure as well as you can, it's fine. But that's just my opinion on the Darth Vader figure. And that's it for the Rogue Shadow. I think it's a decent enough set. It was definitely good for its time, but when you compare it to some LEGO sets, it's definitely a bit of a downgrade. Unless you're talking about the most recent ones where they've been shrinking the vehicles. That, I can say this is better than those. But there would have been some nice minifigures you could have also added to this. You could have added a proxy to this set. It would have made my Force Unleashed 3 fan film on my first channel way easier to do proxy. I had to use a random Imperial droid for proxy because, hey, I don't have a proxy. And then also a friend of mine made a custom proxy. I'm like, gosh darn it. And then we could have had a Rom Coda as well, because Rom Coda is a pretty popular Jedi in the expanded universe timeline. But those are like the smallest things. I couldn't live without them. It would have been nice to have them. But what are you gonna do? But anyway, I think I would have to rate this set maybe, let's say a 7 out of 10. Even with its flaws, it's still iconic, and I'm still glad to have this set in my collection. But anyway, what do you think of this set? Tell me in the comments, and have a nice day, everyone.